It's the activated one, new bright 10, the futuritarian. First and foremost, I'm going to say peace or jasa. Yeah, we break it down to mind right now. The whole mind, not just the pineal gland. The pineal gland was what the Egyptians was dealing with. Did that society fall? That society fell. The Egyptian society fell, and the pineal gland was a sign. You could say it was the third eye, or you can say it was a form of consciousness, because the pineal gland is nothing but consciousness. That's when you get to the conscious stage. Break it down all 4 stages, because in its 3-dimensional realm, you only have 4 stages. The last stage will be the activation stage. Well, how do you activate your mind? You have to work every aspect of your mind just like an organic machine. Now, when you're dealing with an organic machine, what happens to the organic machine when you don't have the right part, or one part breaks down, or one part is non-functional? Then the machine doesn't work. It's the same thing with the mind. So you're dealing with the pineal gland. The pineal gland was consciousness. Then you got so many parts of the mind, dealing with the medulla oblongata, dealing with the cerebral cortex, the neural cortex. All these things play a factor into the activation stage, because you have to work your whole mind. You cannot just work one thing and one part of your mind and think that you're going to be activated and go into ascension. Because I see everybody on the internet, they're repping the pineal gland, which I understand what they're trying to do, but you have to mega stand what's after that. What's after the pineal gland, because there's always going to be something after something else, because this is a 3-dimensional realm. When you're living in the 3-dimensional realm, there's always going to be something next, dealing with the other dimensions, going up to the 13 and the 14 and 15 dimensions up and foremost. When you're dealing with Earth, are you dealing with the planet, dealing with this galaxy? So you have to activate all parts of your mind, not just the pineal gland. Then you're dealing with the reptilian brain. What is the reptilian brain? The reptilian brain stem is a form of the genetics, which I heard a couple of teachers, now they're breaking it down, where I did a video a minute ago breaking down the reptilian and why that the dinosaur genetic was so important when the gods came down on the earth. The reptilian genetic was important because that was the dominant species. Now, when you're dealing with a dominant species and you come to a planet, because when you're dealing with the Sirius star system, Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C. When you're dealing with that star system, the intelligent life forms on that star system, which they call the gods, they might breathe carbon, or they might breathe helium. You don't know what they breathe in on those planets, right? So when you come down to a planet where it's oxygen based, then what do you have to do? You have to mix your DNA with whatever's on the planet, so you can have intelligent life form on that planet and thrive without wearing some type of spacesuit. So that's where the reptilian stem brain comes from, because they have mixed their DNA. The first ones on the planet, the gods from the Sirius star system, they had to mix their DNA with what was down here, which was the dinosaurs. So that's where you get the term in the Bible where people say, oh, he's a snake, he's slithery, don't trust him, this and that. Where'd that come from? That came from the beast. That's where that came from. And they flipped everything. That's why when people say that, oh, he's a snake, I know what they're saying. Untrustworthy person, somebody who's devious, sneaky, conniving. I already know what they're trying to say, but they don't understand that all these terms had got their mind deactivated. That's why when they say that, and I'm thinking to myself, like, especially they're a golden being, a carbon golden being, I'm looking like, well, yeah, because your ascendants, the ones that are in the future, they had to mix the DNA with what was on the planet, which was the reptilians. They say reptilians, you could say the dinosaurs, you could say the snakes, you could say whatever you're gonna say. It's still the simple fact that that's why they don't like the so-called black races, because the black race on the planet right now, the so-called black race on the planet right now, has the God DNA in them. Where does the God DNA, where does that come from? It comes from the Sirius star system. There's always going to be a trail, just like CSI. That's who the gods are. The gods is the ones that came from the Sirius star system and seeded the planet. That's where you get the reptilian brain stem from, because they had to mix their DNA with the reptilians, with the dinosaurs, just to breathe the oxygen that was on the planet. Because why would you come down to a planet and mix your DNA with a species that wasn't dominant? You're going to mix it with the dominant species because you're going to want to have an intelligent being that's on this planet with your DNA to have the dominant species DNA mixed in with it to be more dominant, to be more effective. So now when you're dealing with mankind, mankind, they were mixed with the animal genetic. That's where you get the why they're so attached to dogs. They're always, when you move into a new neighborhood, and you know what I'm talking about, because you'll see them walking their dogs. You see mankind walking their dogs around, this and that, because they're genetically attached to them. That's why. But you have to activate your whole mind. It's not just with the pineal gland or the medulla oblongata. It deals with the whole brain system, because a system has to run in an order. The order of the system has to be lubricated and effective to run just like an organic machine. So I was breaking down in my other video about the mind being organic computer. And that's why I'm not worried about the teachers, because they taking some of the stuff that I'm saying because they're supposed to, because this is about mind activation. This is about getting into people's minds. So when you conceive a baby and you a copper coated golden being, and you somewhat conscious, woke, because there's the activation stage. Those are the leaders. The ones who are activated will be leaders. The ones who are conscious and woke, they will be behind them. So everybody's not going to be activated. So when you're dealing with the mind, I just got an important message. Give me one sec. When you're dealing with the mind, it all has to be in sync with the other parts of your mind. That's why I be hearing people on the internet talking about like disrespecting the snake symbol, disrespecting the dragon symbol, because that's what they've been taught. They've been taught by mankind. They've been taught to hate that symbol, to hate the serpent symbol, to hate the dragon symbol. But why does mankind, the beast, why do they promote it? On what? Medical forms, right? Certain symbols, certain flags. Why is that so important and significant? And they tell you it's evil. They tell you it's evil, aka what's that? Good and the bad. The good and the bad. God and the devil. God and the devil is good and evil. Evil just means devil. Evil means devil. God and the devil are the same two entities working on off a dual energy process. They're working off the yin and the yang. dealing with God and the devil. And I was talking to somebody like 2 days ago, and they were so struck on some of the things that I was telling them. They were so like, I'm gonna say starstruck, because everything that I say, it makes sense. But where could you find it in a book? Some of the stuff that we come with, you could find in a book, and then some of the stuff you're not going to be able to find in a book, but it's going to make sense to you. It's going to elaborate to you, and that's only certain ones. So the neural cortex, the medulla oblongata, the pineal gland, the reptilian brainstem, the spinal cord, all this stuff has to work in a synchronized unit, making decisions in seconds that will move people forward. And had a couple of people call me talking about the elections. I'm not even on that, about the elections. Not even on that about the elections. Broke that stuff down on the votes, or the vote, or the votes. It's what it really means. It's votes. It's a current. And the people, how do you move people? You move people with a current, with the votes, with their mind. That's how you move people. Talking about no elections. And go to them damn elect. That's why I said, man, black and white, they're just the same entity. They're just different. They're different because their minds are the same. Because they feed off of each other. They feed off of each other's energy. On the internet, when you go on the internet, you go on YouTube, and you might find a couple of different races talking about the election, a couple of them here and there, but you're not going to find it on a massive scale. Why? Because they don't have the mind frame as black people and white people. I grew up around the Somalian community, and the whole time I would be around them, they didn't say nothing about the elections. You know why? Because they have a community. Everybody has the same mind frame. They're not worried about the elections. You know what they're worried about? They're worried about the community. Will the elections affect your community? No, it won't. Why do I say that? Why do I say the elections won't affect your community? Because it's not going to affect the community to a point that if you have a self-sustaining community, then how would it be affected? If you go into your own schools, you got your own businesses, then how will something like that affect your community if it's self-sustaining? That's why you don't hear these other races talking about the elections, because they know. Doesn't matter who's in office. The official forcers. Office, official forcers. Forcing what? The law and the order on the planet. That's their whole goal. They have to keep the law and the order on the planet. And they scare you with the chaos and confusion, because once they lose the law and order, somebody's going to have to pick it up to keep the law and order on the planet. And who that going to be? Dealing with no damn elections. Every time somebody talks to me about the elections, they sound like that mother off of Charlie Brown. Some of y'all that's my age know about that mother from Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown used to go ask his mother something, and you would never see her face. You would always see like her feet or something. As soon as they start talking to me, they sound just like his mom. Because they're not in the future. And now, dealing with these teachers on the internet, they're starting to push the present. You know why they push the present? Because they're not receiving nothing from the future. That's why they push the present. They're not receiving nothing from the future. If I wasn't receiving nothing from the future, I'd be pushing the present too. They have to, because that's their job. That's their mission on the planet, is to be conscious. They're going to stay conscious. They're not going to get activated. They're not going to be thinking about the future and not even thinking about the future, receiving what's next from the future. From where? The other galaxies in the upper dimensions. That's why when you're dealing with Saturn, the planet Saturn, they put it, everything that they put in these texts and on the internet dealing with Google, they say Saturn is Satan. And I heard a couple of teachers talking about Saturn is Satan. They're not receiving nothing next, so they don't even know what Saturn is. I ain't even broke that down yet. I haven't broke Saturn down, and I haven't broke the Matrix down. I heard one brother on the internet, he had broke the Matrix down, and I understand what he was doing. He was close, but the reason why I haven't broke the Matrix down is because that movie is very popular. A lot of people watch that movie, and a lot of people study that movie. So I'm not breaking the Matrix down until later on in the future. Once I get everything established legally, then I'm going to start breaking down. Well, I broke down the Avengers on one of my last videos, broke down the Avengers, decoded that, but I'm not decoding the Matrix because I'm going to get everything legally established once I break it down. That's why I haven't broke down the Matrix. I got a couple of my followers. They were really focused on me breaking down the Matrix, and I had to tell them, man, it's not time for that right now. That movie's popular, because sometimes to get in order and to keep things rolling, you got to think like the people that's running the planet right now, the people that was given power. You got to start thinking like them. That's why you have to activate your whole mind. Well, everybody's not going to be activated. I'm coming to that conclusion that I already came to the conclusion everybody's not going to be activated. There's going to be some people that's just going to be stuck in conscious. They're going to be mentally stuck in conscious, and they won't be able to get to activated because now I'm figuring out everybody's not going to be activated. That's just how it is. That's why when you go into my earlier videos, when you're looking at my earlier videos and I'm breaking out stuff nobody never broke down before in my earlier videos, and now you come to my newer videos, I'm giving a little bit of intel, but I'm not giving the whole shebang. That's going to be only for a selective few to move forward. That's it. The whole mind. That's why when people represent just the pineal gland, like automatically look at the world as that movie, the old movie They Live. When they put the sun, when he used to, Roddy Piper used to put the sunglasses on, and then he would see the signs that would say different things, and then he would take the sunglasses off, but it would say something else. He put them back on, and he was seeing through people. That's what an activation is. And you have to be activated because you got these simple-minded Negroes. You got these Negroes out here that they're going to be trying to be a part of something. They're going to infiltrate, getting paid by the beats, trying to do something for some money. You know how these niggas is. Try to do something for some money and try to infiltrate. Be so activated, we're going to already know that you came, that the beast sent you. So good luck with that. Strap you down, hook you up to a lie detector test. Then we're going to really find out the beast sent you. But it's the activated one, New Bright 10, the Futuritarian. I'm going to say peace, Jasa. And I got a couple of more videos coming up. It's winter time, so a lot of people, including myself, be in the house a lot. So I'm gonna have some more videos dropping. I'm gonna have some other things coming up in 2021. Hopefully, get this album done by 2021. The name of the album is Intel. That's the name of the album. It's gonna be called Intel. It might get altered and switched a little bit on the name of the album, but I'm just gonna say the album's called Intel. And then got some more stuff going. Just started a new language. Got my new language going. So yeah, moving forward, we ain't worried about voting with the votes. Peace, Josiah.